I'm Adrian Dundas. I was born in the high country in Victoria. We shifted up here as a family around about 1980. Been up here for 39 years now. Well, basically the daily life, or farming, is mainly checking on all the cattle. So if we're down on rain and growth of grass, we'll have to supplement them with hay. Then there's all the general farming duties, fences, maintaining fences and irrigation lines. The farmer's ability to live and experience multiple parallel lives and bring all those together in a system. Yeah, the hardest part of our job would be water management, but certainly water, keeping water to the property, and obviously water for the cattle. I think that's the biggest hurdle of all, maintaining all your irrigation lines and plumbing to all the water troughs. That would be probably the number one biggest challenge. Bigger properties where you could possibly spend a week travelling around just checking water troughs for your cattle on large properties. That can be maintained now by helicopters or they've got a lot of computer and apps where you can link up to water supplies and actually manage from a central position rather than actually physically driving around all the paddocks to check on water. That part of farming has come a long, long way. See, our water level sits about a metre below where we are now. Have to wait for another good rainfall to fill this catchment up. But we've still got water. It's a big thing. There's water boards and around water management throughout the whole country, and they exist in all parts of states and territories. Right from national movement of water, right down to individual small farms and how water is managed on those farms. What we've done to increase our capacity on the farm is to put in dams where from the next property we've got natural flow into this area here, so we created a dam here. This looks quite small in area but very deep. We use a natural high point in the catchment and turn that into a weir. So you might add a bit of concrete into some lower areas. It doesn't block the run through. All it does is retain more water in this natural catchment area here. But generally I think water is the soul of the earth. If you've got water, everything else flourishes around it and has a meaning. Water management, again, where we're governed by what falls out of the sky, but certainly we have the ability to create water catchment areas and water retainment. And then the management and movement of that water across our properties has become more and more economical, where we had open trenches many decades ago. Now we're doing underground water transport or movement. That works really well where there's not a lot of evaporation, where years ago there's a lot of evaporation out of trenches and dams. But now we've been a lot more economical and efficient with how we gather, supply and move water around properties these days. The water's not there forever. You're prone to evaporation. Yeah, once you get in there you've got to use it, otherwise it ends up in the atmosphere, which is not a bad thing. I mean, you picture if there was more full dams right across the country, the dams and the evaporation create an atmosphere as well. Water sustains life. That's it in a nutshell. Without water, nothing happens. Even the clothes on our back are made from the use of water. A direct result of water to the land or on land creates growth. So it looks after the land, promotes growth of plants and fodder, and ultimately breeding and bringing up cattle on properties. Personal struggles that we have with our farm would be the health of the cattle, feeding the paddock, keeping the water source up to them. That's probably the biggest challenge of all. We really feel for our cattle. We look after them, and when you have calves here and they tend to go downhill for some other reason, trying to bring those out of that bad spot, it's a hit and miss. It's a 50-50 chance that we have, and when we do lose calves because of things that we can't control, I suppose that's the hardest part. General support from the public would be to buy Australian. We produce food in this country that can support upwards of 75 million people. So certainly we've got more than enough produce here to support the 25 million that we have in this country right now. It wouldn't be too hard for us to support. So I think from the general public, buying Australian and Australian grown, produced and packaged food would be an unbelievable start and certainly help keep the growth of our farms. No words can explain how hard it is out there, but on the flip side, how enjoyable and beautiful farming life is. You're on the country and there's nothing better than being on the land. But certainly, yes, there's no words can explain it. Have to live it.